My name's Roland from TalentSmith Technology. I have with me today two HR rock stars in Gwen and Philia that have joined me to talk about onboarding and to talk about their onboarding programs. So, introductions, Gwen?
Thank you, Roland. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you for the invite. So my name is Gwen Francis. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer for Twizzler, and I've been with Twizzler now for about 14 months, and I've been on the TalentSmith journey for just over 12 months.
Great, Gwen. And Philia?
Hi Roland, my name is Philia. I'm from Discovery. I look after marketing, sales and distribution and other corporate functions. Been with the organization for 9 years, but overall on this journey implementing technology as a solution for onboarding for 18 months.
Great, thank you, Philia. So lovely to be here. We've got a fireside conversation around onboarding. And I think just to set the scene, as an organization, TalentSmith Technology and our technology partner, onboarding, have been working hard the last 18 months with a number of businesses and a number of our clients in really looking to solve onboarding. And we see consistently across these clients the complexity of onboarding and the way in which organizations are moving fast this year to look to solve it. And we think that there's a wonderful opportunity for us today to take the lessons and the challenges and what we've learned over the last 18 months as we've worked with you and your teams, just to take that to the community and to share it with them and to allow them to understand some of the challenges and what we've solved for and what a digitized onboarding experience looks like. So if I could just ask Gwen, we can start with you, just to give us an understanding of the onboarding program that you've put in for Twizzler and what that looks like.
Yes, Roland. So started Twizzler in September, and we had typically a class-to-class induction program, and meeting the needs of the strategy within the business as well as a young dynamic CEO. We decided to investigate a onboarding program, went out to market, and successfully partnered with onboarder TalentSmith, who blew her hair back, by the way, and still continue to do so. So it's been a really exciting, successful journey so far.
That's great, Gwen. So I'm going to come back to you in a second and we'll ask some more specific questions around your onboarding program and just the way in which you've put that together in quite a unique environment. And we'd like to share that with the community. But I think just to get Philia into the conversation sooner than later. So Philia, just if you can just give us a brief snapshot of your onboarding and what you've put in place.
Yes, Roland, so we started this journey with a really low number of resources in the HR space in my area, and just this need to enable onboarding in a way that wasn't dependent on an HR resource per se, but that was also future forward and taking into account the different types of people we have in our workforce, from people who are your top tier or your C-suite to trying to make sure that even just a financial advisor's onboarding experience is succinct and it is aligned. And we partnered with TalentSmith as onboarding was one of the parts of our project. And I think for me, what has just blown me away is just how simple it actually is. We often think that when we are going to digitize something, that there's a whole lot of complexity that came with it. The technology element was actually quite simple. What was complex was trying to structure our own internal onboarding journey. So, that's really where we are.
Great, thanks, Philia. So, two very unique and very different environments, very unique in terms of the onboarding programs that have been put in place. So, Gwen, if I can start with you, and I think let's talk a little bit to the complexities of your environment, what you saw as your upfront challenges, going into creating a pre-boarding and onboarding journey for your employees, and how you solved that, and maybe the things that you haven't solved yet, and just give us a sort of a deeper truth in this onboarding and what you've done this year so far.
Thank you, Roland. So I think key for us was to have a consistent message throughout. I think a great privilege to have different depots and plants throughout South Africa, but therein also comes challenges with the succinct message that Philia was talking to earlier. So it really gave us a great opportunity as an internal HR team to kind of sort out our stuff, you know, to take our induction and to review it in terms of business strategy, policies, what is the culture that we're trying to create for our employees, what is the common message. So for us, it was a great exercise to clean things up, to make sure what is the message that we want to get out to our new pre-boarders. So with that, you know, obviously we have got different levels within the business. We have, you know, you've got your people that have access to laptops and computers. We've also got a lot of, you know, blue collar workers that don't have access. So it was around how do we manage that challenge. And I mean, the beautiful thing about Onboarder is you can access all of this through your mobile or smartphone. And therein came out the question, well, how do we enable our employees that don't have the funding? So we've built things into that process to be able to, you know, support employees with data, that they can actually access it, and to take them through this journey. So that's how we've got through some of those challenges. But one of the real beauties of Onboarders is it's so flexible to needs. So it's not a case where you buy something, put it on the shelf, and it's static. It's constantly open to changes as your business changes, as your needs change within the business. It's a very flexible platform that allows, you know, both HR and the employees to adjust where applicable.
Thank you, Gwen. Philia, if I can cross to you. So, you know, just if we can start around the concept of organizational readiness. And so what we've seen in our conversations and analysis of our customer environments, that one of the biggest failures, before we even get to human experience and really being more progressive in this, but one of the biggest failures is around organizational readiness and how you move through a period of time before you join a business, and the messaging falls flat, the experience falls flat as you transition from being a candidate through to being an employee. And one of the biggest critical issues we see consistently is how that initial contact between a candidate and an organization in and around organizational readiness fails significantly, and you really create a disengaged person who's not sure if they've made the right decision. So, you know, just around organizational readiness and your thoughts there and how you've looked to solve that within your onboarding.
I think often we spend all of our effort on trying to find the right candidate, and all the focus goes into that recruitment process. And now we've wowed the candidate, and then we kind of just drop them, until we meet them on their first day. It's very important that while a candidate may have all the requisites that are required for a role, they need to be integrated into their new environment. And this is often where we fall short as businesses. From our perspective, we realized that setting you up for success had a direct impact on revenue generation in your first 3 months. So I think this is really where the focus needs to be. And I would almost say that yes, onboarding once you've started is extremely important, but connecting the new employee to the organization and to their leader before they join reduces anxiety on both of their parts, but also makes them innately ready for the journey ahead.
So you've touched on a fantastic concept there, and that's, you know, in and around how do we position hiring managers for success, and how do we create scalability and consistency to a pre-boarding and onboarding program when and making hiring managers the hero, because the psychological contract that needs to be entrenched and needs to be developed really sits quite firmly between the employee and the hiring manager. And so, you know, Philia, looking at your onboarding program and how through coaching and nudging you've enabled these hiring managers to be more effective in those early stages of that relationship.
Yeah, I think the big thing and the big focus has been on customized experience. So often onboarding journeys are generic and it doesn't have somebody's personalized name attached to it. In our program, we've ensured that the hiring manager not only knows the person well, but knows something as simple as what they like to snack on in the afternoon, so that we build that natural connection between the two of them. We've also created in bite-sized chunks, guidelines for the hiring manager on what to do when. Often the hiring manager doesn't know, am I over-communicating with the new expected employee, or am I under-communicating? What should I be communicating? And a checklist, unfortunately, just doesn't do it. You need to create sort of a lived experience for both of them. And I think that's really been really important as part of our journey.